Fred Vasseur's job at Ferrari is under threat. Verstappen reveals shocking reason why he won't win this year's title. And Red Bull gets blasted for complaining. Let's get into the latest F1 news. Fred Vasseur's journey with Ferrari began in 2023, but he's already facing significant challenges as the team struggles to keep up with its competitors. Damon Hill, the former Formula One champion, has expressed that Vasseur is going to feel the heat as Ferrari finds itself underperforming. Initially, expectations were high as Ferrari entered the 2025 season with hopes of contending for the title. However, those ambitions have dwindled, leaving the team in a disappointing fourth place, with their only podium finish coming from Charles Leclerc in Saudi Arabia. With the arrival of Lewis Hamilton to join Leclerc, many anticipated a strong title challenge for Ferrari. Unfortunately, after the first 6 races of the season, those dreams seem increasingly out of reach. Ferrari trails the remarkable Red Bull team by 11 points and lags a staggering 152 points behind the leaders, McLaren. This situation only escalates the scrutiny on Vasseur as he navigates the pressures of leading such a storied team. In a candid discussion on the BBC Checkered Flag podcast, Hill pointed out that Ferrari appears to be left behind in the current race standings. He stressed that the team has not been competitive enough, stating, "I think Fred's going to feel the pressure now." While Vasseur may have enjoyed a brief honeymoon period in his new role, recent performances mark a turning point where expectations change rapidly and demands for results become more pressing. Hill also highlighted a key point. Ferrari should not be behind teams like Williams, no matter how commendably the latter has performed. As Hill remarked, they should be way up there. They should be fighting for the title. The Italian team is facing consequences for its sluggish performance, as fans and experts alike await the necessary improvements. In response to the mounting pressures, Vasseur announced plans for small upgrades ahead of the upcoming races in Imola and Monaco. As he noted, the FIA's impending rule changes mean that all teams will introduce new front wings in Barcelona, providing an opportunity for a performance reset. "I think it will be perhaps a reset of the performance of everybody," he remarked, hinting at a chance for Ferrari to regain its competitive edge. As fans wonder about the future of Ferrari under Vasseur's leadership, one thing is clear: the heat is on. With the season still unfolding, all eyes will be on how Vasseur maneuvers the challenges ahead and whether Ferrari can rise from its current state and reclaim its place as a formidable force in Formula One. In the dramatic world of Formula One, Lewis Hamilton seems to be grappling with unexpected challenges at Ferrari. As the Miami Grand Prix approaches, reports suggest that Hamilton has called for an urgent meeting with team principal Fred Vasseur. This comes amid concerns about his current performance level and F1 hunger, leading to questions about his future with the team. The upcoming races, including Imola and Monaco, promise to bring some small upgrades to the car. Vasseur expresses his complete trust in both Hamilton and teammate Charles Leclerc, emphasizing their capabilities. He reflects on their past successes, highlighting the importance of qualifying performance as a key characteristic of both drivers. However, Vasseur acknowledges that the current car is underperforming, stressing the need for substantial improvements in race execution. In other F1 news, former champion Damon Hill hints that Max Verstappen might be wise to consider a year out despite his contract lasting until 2028. This could set the stage for interesting developments, particularly as performance clauses may allow him to leave early if the situation dictates. Meanwhile, Lando Norris finds himself in a competitive landscape within McLaren as tensions rise about team dynamics, with Oscar Piastri reportedly inching ahead. Hill suggests that McLaren is less concerned about who takes the title and more focused on overall team performance. As the European season kicks off, these narratives are bound to keep fans riveted. Will Hamilton find his stride with Ferrari? Can Verstappen maintain his dominance? With these questions hanging in the air, the excitement in F1 is palpable. Stay tuned for breaking updates and insights on planetf1.com. Christian Horner has expressed his concerns regarding the evolving racing guidelines in Formula One, particularly with the upcoming changes in 2025. He believes these modifications may lead to an over-regulated environment that stifles authentic competition on the track. In the past, the rules clearly defined the rights of the attacking driver, allowing them a full car's width when exiting a corner. However, this season, that requirement has been altered. Now, there's no obligation for the defending driver to offer that space. This significant shift could fundamentally change the dynamics of on-track battles. For instance, during the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Oscar Piastri's defensive maneuver against Max Verstappen would have likely been deemed against the rules last season. But under the new guidelines, it was permissible. This change poses a risk. Now, defending drivers have greater freedom to cut off other racers, making it much harder for attackers to execute overtakes successfully. Horner feels that this has led to a departure from what he considers natural racing. Instead of allowing drivers to engage in spontaneous and instinctive battles, they may find themselves constantly calculating their moves according to the new regulations. He states, "I think that it doesn't feel like natural racing anymore." For him, the balance of competition is shifting, and it seems more like drivers are stuck in a compliance mindset rather than purely competing on instinct. Horner has suggested that it might be beneficial for the drivers to convene and discuss these regulatory changes. He believes that too many rules can force drivers to adhere strictly to regulations, which can diminish the excitement and unpredictability that defines Formula One racing. Oscar Piastri, on the other hand, offers a different perspective. Despite Horner's fears about the potential for fruitless battles resulting from these changes, Piastri argues that his decision to defend against Verstappen was purely instinctual. He felt that his actions in Saudi Arabia were aligned with his racing intuition rather than solely conforming to the updated guidelines. As the season progresses, it will be intriguing to see how these changes affect the dynamics of racing in Formula One and whether the drivers will adapt to this new balance of regulation and instinct. In the recent discussion about racing tactics, one driver expressed that he wasn't surprised by the outcome at Turn 1, emphasizing how crucial that moment was for the race's result. He acknowledged that the steward's decision was appropriate given the circumstances. Additionally, he reflected on the instinctive nature of racing. When fighters enter a corner, claiming it as their own is part of their strategy. Many drivers may think about the guidelines, but instinct often takes the lead. For him, growing up in a competitive environment meant always expecting a tough battle on the track, so when pushing for a corner, retreating wasn't an option. He noted that this mindset isn't unique to him. Many competitors share the same instincts of racing fiercely and competitively. Instincts can differ among drivers, yet in those high-pressure moments, the drive not to be overtaken is universal. Switching gears to the topic of McLaren, Damon Hill pointed out that the team wouldn't mind who secures the title between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri this year, highlighting the competitive spirit of F1. Moreover, Zach Brown revealed some behind-the-scenes tactics that Alpine used to persuade Piastri to join their team back in 2022. There are rumors of favoritism towards Piastri at McLaren, but these claims seem unfounded for now. As we watch McLaren drivers duke it out for the title, it's a reminder of past internal rivalries within the team. There's certainly a mix of excitement and tension this season. Stay tuned for more thrilling updates and deep dives into the F1 world. Max Verstappen is facing an uphill battle in the current Formula One season, trailing championship leader Oscar Piastri by 32 points. With McLaren, the dominant force in 2025, winning nearly every race, Verstappen knows he needs to find a way to close the gap if he hopes to keep the number one on his car. In a candid moment with the media, Verstappen shared his thoughts on the challenges ahead. He admitted that his only realistic chances of overtaking McLaren lie on tracks known for their difficulty in overtaking. As he faces the formidable McLaren duo, Verstappen reflects on his past racing numbers. Despite using the number one this season as the reigning champion, it seems likely he may have to revert to his old number 33 next year because of McLaren's clear advantage over the field. Oscar Piastri has had an impressive run with 3 wins in 3 races, making him the top driver in the standings. Meanwhile, his teammate Lando Norris holds a comfortable 16-point lead over Verstappen, who occupies the third position. When asked about regaining momentum, Verstappen expressed his reliance on upcoming circuits that could play to his favor. "I'm looking forward to tracks that I enjoy driving," he said, though he quickly added a dose of realism. With the gap that they have, realistically, you don't really have a big chance. Still, he remains hopeful. But maybe on tracks where you can't pass, you do have a chance. We'll see Monaco, maybe. Monaco is known for its tight layout and has historically not been Verstappen's strongest venue. "Sometimes it all comes together, that's for sure," he explained, but emphasized the unpredictability of the sport. You can't bank on it the whole time. The contrast in outlook between Verstappen and the McLaren team highlights the current dynamics in Formula One. While drivers like Verstappen freely acknowledge McLaren's superiority, the McLaren team has been more reserved in embracing their title favorite status. After a recent race in Miami, team principal Andrea Stella expressed his surprise at the significant gap between his drivers and Verstappen. "I'm a little surprised that the gap we had today is as big as we saw," he admitted, highlighting that McLaren's performance has exceeded expectations even within their own camp. As the season progresses, it will be interesting to see whether Verstappen can leverage the challenges presented by certain tracks or if McLaren continues to dominate the grid. With the pressure mounting and the championship on the line, the next races will be pivotal in defining the outcome of the 2025 F1 season. In the midst of an intense F1 title fight, Oscar Piastri made headlines with his quip on trying to repeat 2007 in his battle with Lando Norris. It's clear that McLaren has put in significant effort for their recent performance boosts, amid scrutiny regarding tire management and race strategy. Piastri noted the car's performance hinges on how it handles degradation in hot conditions, highlighting targeted engineering as a key factor in their successes. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen remains firmly in the spotlight. Despite his contract extending until 2028, performance clauses could allow for a potential early exit. Recently, he tested a Ferrari GT3 car, a surprising move that's sparking speculation about his next targets in racing, while simultaneously preparing to apply for a special racing license. As we approach the start of the European season, several pressing questions linger. How will McLaren maintain its momentum? What implications do Verstappen's plans have for Red Bull? And where do current drivers like Hamilton, Verstappen, and Alonso rank in the all-time stats? Stay tuned, as these developments are bound to shape the unfolding drama of the F1 championships. Why McLaren tire trick allegation makes no sense amid Red Bull speculation. In the world of Formula One, performance is everything, and every team is constantly analyzing their competitors. Recently, a controversy has arisen surrounding McLaren and their impressive start to the 2025 season. With Oscar Piastri behind the wheel of the McLaren MCL39, the team has taken victory in 5 out of 6 races. But amidst their success, Red Bull has raised suspicions about the legality of McLaren's tire management, suggesting they might be using water to cool their tires, a theory that has been met with skepticism from F1 pundits. An important point of contention revolves around reports suggesting that Red Bull has employed thermal cameras to scrutinize the temperatures of McLaren's cooling ducts. The notion here is that while other teams have seen orange and red heat signatures around their braking vents, McLaren's tires appeared unusually cooler, displaying many blue areas. This led to claims that such temperature control could not be achieved by air cooling alone. However, these allegations hark back to a narrative from late 2024, when whispers in the paddock hinted that McLaren had injected water into their tires to enhance cooling and performance. The FIA and tire manufacturer Pirelli found no evidence to back up this claim, and McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown took a lighthearted jab at the rumor during a pit wall appearance. He was seen sipping from a tire water bottle, perhaps just for show. Sky F1's pit lane reporter Ted Kravitz also weighed in on the allegations, sharing that he hadn't spotted any thermal cameras around the McLaren garage, which the reports claimed Red Bull was using. He remarked that the practice of spying on rival teams with heat cameras isn't exactly new. It was a tactic employed by teams like Ferrari years ago. Kravitz referenced Ruth Buscombe, a former Ferrari engineer who was once tasked to do precisely that. Looking ahead, the upcoming races, particularly in hotter conditions, may put McLaren's performance to the test. Observers are keen to see if their tire management strategies will continue to confound their rivals. Despite the chatter, no evidence has confirmed Red Bull's theory, leaving questions about how McLaren achieves such remarkable tire durability. Enter Martin Brundle, who has also poured cold water, pun intended, on the water in the tire allegations. With extensive experience and a solid racing background, Brundle put forth his argument, emphasizing that keeping water out of a tire is crucial. According to him, introducing water would lead to instant steam formation and uncontrollable tire pressures, undermining any potential benefit. Brundle concluded by noting that McLaren's performance isn't a matter of tricks or shortcuts. They've simply mastered the art of tire management through superior geometry and cooling methods. The team has been maintaining their tire integrity better than anyone else on the grid. As the season progresses, the motivation behind the allegations may become clear. After all, high performance can inspire admiration and envy alike. So, as we follow the thrilling drama of F1, let's keep an eye on how these tire management strategies unfold, and whether McLaren will continue to set the pace on the track, free from unfounded suspicions. As we dive deeper into the dynamics of Formula One, we turn our attention to McLaren and the innovations in their approach to tire management. Bernie Collins, a former lead performance engineer at McLaren, reveals that their success isn't just a single secret, but a complex mix of techniques. She emphasizes that if fans truly understood the lengths teams go to manage tire moisture, they'd find it almost comical. There are countless strategies to optimize tire performance. Altering brake temperatures or modifying contact patches can instantly change how the tire behaves. Collins points out that it's not a straightforward formula. Rather, it's a holistic package of adjustments that makes a significant difference. In the Miami conditions, it became apparent that McLaren's ability to maintain tire integrity allows their drivers to push the limits more consistently. As Oscar Piastri leads the Drivers' Championship with Lando Norris close behind, their track performance is a testament to effective tire management, giving them a 105-point edge in the Constructors' Championship over Mercedes. Meanwhile, on another front, Aston Martin finds themselves lagging significantly compared to last season, with only 14 points after 6 rounds. And let's not forget the intriguing off-track moments. Lewis Hamilton caused a stir on team radio during the Miami Grand Prix, sparking theories about his frustrations and team dynamics. As this season unfolds, McLaren's strategic mastery and the underlying tension between teams will only add more layers to the exhilarating narrative of Formula One. Stay tuned for more updates as the races get more intense and the stakes rise higher.